Good morning. My name is Trey Adams. I'm the director of golf, and I'd like to welcome you all out to Old Fort Golf Club this morning. Well, the day have been waiting for is finally here, and we are so glad that you're able to join us this morning as we celebrate the reopening of the golf course. If you didn't get a chance beforehand, we've got coffee and donuts inside. So afterwards, if you didn't get a chance to grab those, we ask please help us make sure those are eaten. In a moment, I'll introduce our golf course architect, who will say a few words about the renovation. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you to a large group of people who have helped make this day possible. This beautiful golf course behind me would not be here if it were not for their help. And to do that, I need to start at the top with our city leadership. And of course, that begins with City of Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland and our city council. When we brought the plans for this renovation to them, they could not have been more supportive of this project. They were proud to invest in the city. They were proud to invest in the golf course and to make it something that we could all be proud of. I'd also like to thank our golf commission. Their support and appreciation for golf in this city have meant a lot to this course, to our staff, and to our city. And without their leadership, this golf course would not be here. So we've got to give a big kudos to those guys. I also would like to thank our city staff. To make a project like this come together, it takes a strong team. And again, that kind of starts at the top with our leadership, our city manager, our executive directors, but also people in our legal team, our purchasing department. They all helped come together to make this possible. I want to also, mention the street department. Those guys were extremely helpful. We had, no less than a month ago, we had about 15 trees that were down from storms. Right after our bunker renovation this spring, we had completed it. We had flooding, and those guys were out here repairing cart paths, removing tree limbs, and taking special care not to mess anything up. So just a big thank you to them. But also I'd like to just thank our Parks and Recreation Department, our facilities maintenance team, for bringing all this together and helping organize this event today. And lastly, of course, I'd like to thank our golf course staff. We've had so many individuals that have come together to step up and step out of their normal roles, to take on a ton of different projects that are not normally possible, to really kind of put the bow on the present, if you will. And I can't thank them enough for their hard work. And of course, I've got to thank our agronomy team. Marty Mayo, our superintendent, and his staff have done a phenomenal job during the grow-in process of the renovation. And I just can't wait for you all to experience it for yourselves and play the course. And again, lastly, I'd like to thank our golf course architect, Nathan Crace, for his vision and for his leadership throughout this entire process. This is something I've not myself done before, and he was able to go with us step through this process. And, the whole thing's just been incredible. And so I also would like to recommend or commend the work of Wadsworth Golf Construction Company, to the work they did for the renovation, installing our new Better Billy bunkers and our new Prism Zoysia green. So at this time, I'll go ahead and introduce Nathan Crace, our golf course architect. He's going to say just a few words about the renovation.
Thank you. Good morning. I have a couple of notes so I don't get too far off track. Trey asked me to keep this about 45 minutes so we don't go too long. That is a joke. I have a connection to Murfreesboro that you may not be aware of. My mother was born in Gallatin, even though I was raised in Indiana. One of her brothers and his wife lived in Murfreesboro their entire lives. Sadly, they passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. So I didn't get to see them while we had this project going on. But I can remember as a child coming to Murfreesboro, and I was telling the mayor this morning, when we first came back here about 2.5, 3 years ago to look at the site, I was blown away with the growth in Murfreesboro. So, I commend the people of Murfreesboro and the leadership in Murfreesboro for that growth. Trey kind of stole my thunder. I also wanted to thank the mayor and the city council and all the different departments of the city on down. And I know he would never accept it, but I think a big round of applause to Trey and Marty and their staff. There's a lot of work that goes into a project of this scale, and I'll touch on exactly what we did here in just a minute. But there is a lot of work that goes into a project of this scale, and if you don't have the inside staff and the outside staff and everybody working as a team, it just makes it harder. This project was completed almost a month early, so I think that shows how well everybody worked together. I'd also like to thank God for this beautiful day. I know we need some rain, but I think he's going to hold off till tonight. So at least for those of us who get out here to play it today, it's a nice sunny, albeit a little warm day. Wadsworth, as he alluded to, not only completed the project a month early, but also under budget, which is very rare in this day and age. And I know a lot of people excited about that. But to that point, also big thanks to the people of Murfreesboro and the golfers for their patience in supporting this project. You know, we tried to keep the golf course open as long as possible. I think ultimately it was only down for a few months completely. We had always had at least 9 holes open to play. But now you'll have 18 holes that we shouldn't have to do anything to for the next 25 years. So it's a great golf course. I'm really excited about the way it turned out, especially to be able to be open for Labor Day weekend. That's big. So Trey was just telling us this morning that the tee times for Labor Day booked out in 2 minutes. So that just goes to show you the demand for golf here at Old Fort. So people have been asking, well, what exactly did you do as part of the project? We focus primarily on greens and bunkers, and when you get out there today, you'll see that not only this new Prism Zoysia grass green, which is a warm season turf, you won't have the type of stress that the old bent greens had in the summertime. Putts great condition, also a little better through the winter than Bermuda grass does. But as part of that project, when we stripped the old turf out and we put some new mix on these greens, we were able to go and kind of float out and recapture some pin positions that had been lost to time, areas where the greens had grown in over the years in some places. So when you get out there, you'll see some places on greens that you couldn't put a pin in years past. And so that's a lot of fun because that adds another dimension to the game when you get out there. We redid all the bunkers. We installed Better Billy Bunker, which is a aggregate liner without getting too much inside baseball, but it makes the bunkers more playable, especially after a rain event, makes them last longer, it makes it more durable in a sense, and we put a better sand in there to play out of. I know it's supposed to be a hazard, but they play very nice. So you'll notice when you go around, we reduced a lot of bunkers. There were a lot of bunkers that back in the day were in play, and now the ball flies further and maybe some of these bunkers didn't work. So we moved some, we reduced some, we broke some apart. I think 2 of the bigger changes you'll notice are on 4 fairway and 9 fairway. Those of you who played here before, there were fairway bunkers that were sort of in the middle of the landing area. We've shifted those away now to better frame the fairway without kind of being in the landing area. So I think in a subtle way, when you step up on the tee, those holes look completely different, and that's just from moving those fairway bunkers to a place they needed to be. We also added some tees, in addition, some forward tees for juniors and seniors, as well as some back tees for the flat belly guys who like to move it out there about 350 yards, give them a little more challenge for them. You know who you are. And when the concern over the driving range in years past had been that there wasn't enough room, you couldn't hit driver, the ball would go back into the trees or back over to 18 fairway. And one day when Marty and Trey and Mario from Wadsworth were standing out there, there had been debate about should we put up a net around the driving range. Well, nobody really likes nets. They're not very attractive. They're very expensive. And we're talking about different options. And we just started looking at this area behind the existing tee and decided, well, what if we move the tee back? You know, how far back could we move it? What would that entail? And so working with the contractor, we were able to move that driving range tee back about 35 yards. And so now you can actually step up and hit a driver off the driving range where you couldn't before. And that's a big part of a revenue stream for a public golf course, because people can come out here to the driving range who may not have time to play golf, or maybe they want to work on their game. Well, now you attract a whole other segment of people out to the golf course. So again, so many things that went right out here, even despite that winter storm we had early in the project that slowed things down for a little while, but they were still able to finish ahead of time. And I think that Old Fort will prove to be yet another reason to bring people to Murfreesboro and attract them come here and spend their money in local businesses and spend time here and maybe move here and enjoy their time on the golf course. So again, thank you to everybody for coming out. Thank you to everyone for supporting this project, and I look forward to hearing what you think about it after you play. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. All right, at this time, I would like to go ahead and invite Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland.
It's we've had a great couple of weeks. We were all able to open up the skate park a couple of weeks ago, and then now celebrating the reopening of Old Fort. And I can tell you it wouldn't be possible without dedicated leadership. And a lot of our council members are here today. We have Jamie Averwater, Kurt Wade, Sean Wright. I don't see, are any other council members here? This wouldn't be possible without their dedication and really, I hate to use the term intestinal fortitude, that you wouldn't believe that, people sometimes don't understand why the city of Murfreesboro has a golf course, and people don't understand why the city of Murfreesboro has a skate park. And, one of the things that we have in Murfreesboro is that we're dedicated to providing services and opportunities for a wide variety of options, and I'm excited about Old Fort. As I was sitting here thinking about Old Fort, I'm from Monteagle. And in 1992, I was able to make the state golf championship. And so I played at Henry Horton 2 rounds for region, or for district and region, and then made it through region. And the state golf championship at that time was at Old Fort Golf Course. And the person who was running the state championship at that time, or really helping, was Alan Richardson. And so that was my first introduction really to Murfreesboro, coming from Monteagle, which was like going from Murfreesboro to New York City, coming to Monteagle, or from Monteagle to Murfreesboro, and meeting Alan, who has been dedicated to junior golf for so long. So for Robert Sane and a lot of Don, for a lot of the guys that are with our golf commission, they're the ones who really need the credit, because they're the ones who have really helped push this through. So Murfreesboro's had a dedication to junior golf, and you can say what you want to about all the other sports. I think golf has is so important for those kids who play, because they learn social skills, they learn independence. And we've worked on Bloomfield Links. In September the 23rd, we're having our tournament for Kids Play Free in Murfreesboro. So if you're a resident watching this, any kid in Rutherford County can come sign up in our pro shop, and you can go play Bloomfield Links for free anytime you want to. And I think that's the important thing as we look at investment in this community, not just for people to come in and people to spend their money here, but it's the people who live here and the people who help support this. So Trey, to your team, to Marty, to those who were in the past, to Tracy Wilkins, Ann Wilkins, to all of those who have, Marty McCurry, see Marty here, to all those who worked so hard to get us to this point, you all deserve the credit. It's a true team effort, and I am super excited to see what's in store for Old Fort Golf Course, and continue to see what's in store for Murfreesboro. So thank y'all for this opportunity, and Trey, job well done.
Thank you, Mayor. Now at this time, we'll kind of direct everyone's attention to hole number 1, to the tee. We're going to have some ceremonial tee shots, and then we will all go play golf.
Axel didn't slide.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Into the parking lot. I'm going to hit it over there. You ready, Trey?
Yeah, look at that new fairway they were talking about.
Oh, your wind's not there. Let's go.
Hey, you want to let Don be the first one to go off?
First on the tee, Murfreesboro's Mayor Shane McFarland.
All right. No practice swings, nothing, right?
$20.
$20 for the fairway?
Yeah.
All right.
You in?
Sure.
All right. I ain't even got I got a left-hand driver. Tree.
Next on the tee, City Council Member Kurt Wade.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Oh, good ball,
There
Kurt.
you go, Kurt.
Nice ball, Kurt.
Next on the tee, our head of our golf commission, Don Turner. Next on the tee, representing our City Council member Jamie Averwater, her son Bryson Brown.
Go do it, Bryson.
If I embarrass myself, it's Jamie's fault. See, right there.
All right, everyone, that concludes our ceremony. We look forward to welcoming you all out to Old Fort. We hope we'll see you soon for a round of golf. Thank y'all for
everybody.
being here.